Dom here from Essential RC. Thanks for tuning in for another flight test. These are the type of projects I really love. So putting FPV in scale radio controlled model aircraft. So I'm doing with the latest equipment from Cadex. This is the Walksnail GT2 VTX video transmitter and camera in the new Cadex GM3 version 2 gimbal. So this gimbal, together with the FPV camera and VTX, can be used with goggles L and other Cadex FPV goggles to get head tracked movement, 3-axis movement. So as I move my head when I'm wearing the goggles, left and right for pan, up and down for tilt, then the camera will move as well in the gimbal. So you can see here I've 3D printed this mount, and this the gimbal screws onto it with the provided screws, and then the VTX the same, and power, I've soldered together the red wires from the gimbal and the VTX and the black wires, and then just put an XT60 on it so I can power it from a normal battery, but then also done an adapter so I can power it from a 4-cell battery balanced plug that I'm going to be putting in my FMS Cessna. So this is a great new VTX because it's got great range, also uses a lot less power than its predecessors. Obviously I fly in Europe, so I have to fly within line of sight and with a spotter, which I've just been doing actually, and unfortunately got so close that we had a bit of a mid-air, and I was below the other Cessna over there and just got a little bit too close underneath, and my prop hit one of the wheel spats on the other Cessna over there. So I'm grounded for today, but we've got one great flight, and I'll show you that footage in a minute. But this worked really well. It didn't overheat because it has the integrated fan. You just need a little bit of airflow through the cabin in the Cessna, and not a lot of I didn't have to do a lot to the Cessna to fit it in. So you see I've got 2 slabs of foam. Those are from the type of thing you would anti-vibration foam off Amazon that you would put under a washing machine or a dishwasher. And then inside the Cessna, all I've done is remove the pilots just with a sharp blade and put in a bit of Velcro. And you can see the position, it basically gets mounted to the front of the Velcro, and the battery immediately up against that to get the center of gravity spot on, and you get a nice view through the canopy with the nice dashboard. So here's the footage of me flying the FMS Cessna together with this other blue Cessna over here. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so here we go, throttling up, and 2 different styles of takeoff, which didn't really work for us. So he's gone full power and got in the air straight away, and I've done a gradual fast taxi and a less steep climb out. So I've lost him straight away. Totally my fault. Should have been more detailed in what we were going to do. But anyway, I've caught him up, bit of full throttle, and I overfly him, which wasn't too clever. But this is what happens when you start a flight, unless you've been doing it earlier in the day. I find it takes a little while to get your eye in. So off his tail, probably about 20-30 meters off his tail. So what I'm doing during this flight is going to gradually work closer and closer. Now the head tracking working really well. Quite subtle head movements. I don't need to move my head around a huge amount. The view really good through the camera, not too much distortion through the canopy glass. It is plastic after all. And distortion from the prop, can't do anything about that. So turning in for another pass and see if I can get a little bit closer. Now the problem here is I'm higher than him and he goes underneath the nose, so I lose him altogether. So it's important that I try and stay just below his tail like this. A bit more throttle, catch him up, getting closer and closer. And we're keeping it simple, just flying with half flap on, so we can fly relatively slow. We can fly closer if we're flying slower, and that's looking a lot better. Now the problem is he's flying line of sight from the ground, not FPV, so he's having to turn a lot earlier than I would have to flying FPV. So I think I will have to convert that second Cessna in front to FPV as well. So he's got away from me a little bit again, so a little bit more throttle to catch up. But we made a late call here to reverse circuit, and I've turned a bit too tight, so I've lost him. And Adrian was telling me at this point that he's over the middle of the strip, so I need to turn back. Middle of the strip and going into wind, so you can see him down there. So I go to full throttle at this point to get back on his tail. He's flying as slowly as possible. Catching up, catching up. As long as you're talking to one another and you've got a spotter, well, I've got a spotter, I legally have to have that because I'm flying FPV. This looks good. Look at that. Looking really good at this point. Getting better and better with each circuit. But it's about to go all horribly wrong. And totally my fault. So this is a nice turn in. That's about as close as I want to get. But he's above me now, and I don't know why. Oof! But I think I pulled back on the stick, and that's resulted in a collision. My prop has hit his wheel spat and broken one of the blades off, so I'm dead stick at this point. There was a huge amount of vibration, so I'm turning in, losing altitude, and I'm not gonna make it, so I level wings and go into the long grass. No harm done, I survived, and that's the important thing. We will do it again. So there's no doubt that the collision was my fault, because Adrian was flying the other Cessna and he was flying nice and level, and Alan was my spotter and he said I just went slightly up. We were nice and close, and then I just pulled up. The prop caught the spat. No damage to the other Cessna, but I need a new spinner which popped off, and 3-blade prop. These things happen, and that's the fun of flying FPV. So looking forward to trying this again when I've got those spare parts, and practice makes perfect. That's what it's all about. So fantastic test of the Walksnail GT2 kit in that GM3 version 2 gimbal. Looking forward to trying it again. The links for this is in the video description and the pinned comment. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.